Okay, say we live. Peace, peace, family. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in. Shalom, shalom, lacha mishpati. Ani rofe, yochai, yaki awaken. Call the hall. Yahweh, Vahamashiach, Baruch Atim. Bless y'all. Climb on in, family. Ain't seen y'all in a while. A lot of people been hitting me up about cancer. I'm finna tell y'all why they took my page down is because of cancer and basically being at the clinic and posting all of those healing testimonies. So let's talk about cancer. I mean, they taking my stuff down anyway. Why not put it all out there, right? So they did take my YouTube. I put up a new YouTube. They took the new YouTube. So right now, and I just created another one. I loaded it all the way up. So I'm gonna let y'all see that. I'm gonna give that to y'all. That way y'all can subscribe to that one and watch all the videos that I put on it. And we're gonna talk about this. For those that haven't received the 350 page book by email, if you purchase a book, we sent out every email, but some of them, probably about 12 of them, bounced back to us because the emails was incomplete. Just hit me up in my inbox and we'll be able to send you the actual link. Yeah, they trying to shut me down, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So the thing about Rumble, when I try to upload my stuff to Rumble, it just keeps spinning and never upload. And they say Rumble a free platform, for freedom of speech, but it won't let me load nothing up. But anybody that received the book, though, a lot of people giving us great feedback on the first 350 pages. It's a 700-page book, y'all. It really is the Bible of health. I'm very excited about it. We pushed the shipping date back, but I went on ahead and gave y'all 350 pages to show y'all how beautiful it is, how amazing it is, the outline, all the information that's compact in it. Y'all got the table of contents. Y'all got everything. So, we originally said that the book was going to be 400 pages? 350 to 400 pages, but I said, why not? Because I was going to put out a two-part book series, right? So I just put the book together. A lot of people was complaining about the price, $150 for a book. I was going to do two books for 150 each, but I just decided to listen to the people, so I put both books together. So it's a 700-page book called Healing the Illusion We Call Disease, the Bible of Health. You get for $150. Thousands and thousands of people got 350 pages of it right now. What we did was we went to our website. Everybody that purchased the book, we got their email, and we literally sent them encrypted code for they can open up the book and they can read the first 350 pages. And the feedback is phenomenal. We get nothing but good feedback. They just ready for more, ready for more. So if you didn't receive the book and you have your order number, because some did bounce back, all you have to do is just hit me in my DMs. If you on Facebook, hit me up on Facebook, and it's easy. I just send it over to my tech, and they send it right to you directly, and that's how it is. So, and y'all keep giving us feedback. I've been sharing it in my Instagram stories. Keep telling me what you think about the book. I think it's the greatest book of all times, and I put I put everything I had into that book. So, all praises for that. So let's talk about cancer. Also, y'all, we coming to Chicago. When will we be in Chicago? All right, so we in Chicago on September the 6th, y'all. September the 6th, September the 7th, we are in Chicago. All you got to do is go to www.yakiawaken.com, click on the event tabs and get your tickets. And usually my tickets is for $150. Backstage, we do 300. We always sell out since it is in the Midwest and it's only 3 hours away from St. Louis, Missouri. And Illinois is my family. I dropped the tickets to $100. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna sell out fast. Come see me in Chicago. It's in exactly 2 months. Come pull up on me. It's gonna be an amazing time. We're gonna have good, healthy vegan food there. It's gonna be amazing. And what I'm bringing forth is gonna be chapters out of the book. So y'all make sure y'all pull up, and I'll make sure that I post the flyer for that as well. But look, if y'all ready, man, get y'all pens and y'all pads. We finna go through a lot of information. I got my notepad here. I got a presentation pulled up. If y'all ready, y'all type in some nines. And let me know if you can hear me and let me know if you can see me as well. And let me pull up my comments. I ain't even pulled up my comments. All right, I see people on Instagram here, people on Facebook. Who is on my Facebook private page and who is on my Facebook clinic page? Would y'all let me know? That way I know that both Facebook is there. Let's see, pull up on me. How do you get the book? You just go to www.yakiawaken.com, type in books in the search bar, and buy the book. It's simple as that. The book's so thick, y'all. I mean, it's a lot of information. It is a whole lot of information, but I literally put everything in there. Healing protocols, herbal protocols, uh therapies in there, frequencies. I mean, we talk about food, ingestion, digestion, absorption, utilization, elimination, congestion, hydration. We get deep into sunlight. I go through the anatomy, the physiology of the cells. We talk a lot of spiritual talk up in there. I mean, the book, you can tell I've been working on it for almost 5 years. You can really tell that. Yes, we're going to be in Chicago, October, it's September, October, right? September the 6th and 7th. September the 6th and 7th. Who should I email about the book? You don't have to email me about the book on Instagram. Just drop it inside of my Instagram and my team will check it. Just if you ordered the book, all you got to do is drop your order number in, and we literally get right back to you. They'll check it and they send it to your actual email. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of people already got it. We can look and see how many people opened the email, how many. I can even tell with the software we're using, I can tell how many pages you read. And people are reading through them 350 pages so fast. And I know for a fact it'll take you at least several months to get through it to truly understand what I said. But I can see people scam reading, then they start going to back and slowing down. And this is not a book that you just, for one, I do not recommend you reading it in chronological order. I recommend that you read it based off of what you've been diagnosed with. You read it based off what you're going through, and then read the table of content, and whatever pulls and draw into your spirit, that's what you go to. And then once you get that understanding, you're going to move over to healing the illusion we call disease part. And then from there, you go to Yaki daily schedule, get your protocol. Then after you get on your journey of healing, go back to the beginning of the book and then read it in chronological order. But, a lot of people that's buying these books are people that's been listening and people that are dealing with, what you would call illnesses. So automatically go to your illness or what you would call your illness, because it's nothing but an illusion to me anyway. And I think I broke that down pretty good in the book. Then what you do after that, you find your illness, you learn about it, you learn how it's an illusion, you break that illusion. Then you go and you read about the illusion we call disease. Then you go to the Yaki detoxification protocol and daily schedule. And then once you on the go, that's when you can go back to the beginning of the book and then read it in chronological order. That's how I go. But it's amazing, y'all. I'm telling you, the best book that's been out since, man, I'm not even lying, y'all. All right, so if y'all ready, hard copies will be shipped out in November. And the reason why it took so long for us to ship out the hard copies because of the editor, and we decided to add the second part of the book. I was going to sell it to y'all in 2 parts. But me not being the team sat down, we heard y'all cries and y'all prayers, and we said we're going to make 1 book. So that's what we did. So not only we put out the first book, we put it out. You can actually read it online, and then we added it to the next book. That's how we did it. So if y'all ready to get this started, let's do it. Let's do it. If you can hear me good, type in some 9s. If you can hear me good, type in some 9s and we'll get it started. We're going to talk about cancer. We're going to talk about oxygen deprivation. We're going to talk about unbound iron. We're going to talk about parasites. I'm going to show y'all tumors that we've been pulling out of people. I'm going to show you worms and parasites we've been pulling out of people. If you don't have a good stomach, if you get an upset stomach real quick, if you throw up too fast for looking at stuff that you consider nasty, I advise you to not watch this transmission because I'm finna show it all to you. Okay, I want to start this off. A lot of people are new here to me. I am Dr. Yakai. Everybody call me Yaki Awaken. I have my own clinic, have my own therapeutic sessions, geogenetic therapeutic herbal packages. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I have a beautiful, beautiful clinic here in St. Louis, Missouri, 2402 North Highway 67. Florissant, Missouri 63033. A lot of people come here and they get their healing. We put them on therapies. We put them on hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy. We change their diet. We give them an alkaline forming diet. We put them on geogenetic herbal therapies and we detoxify them and their bodies naturally heal themselves. That's what I'm known for. That's what I do. I got a 10-acre farm. Organic farm where we grow apple trees, fruit trees. We grow all types of things, peaches, pears, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. The farm is thriving, and we turned the farmhouse, which is 2,700 square feet. We turned it into a healing home. We basically gutted it all out, put a bunch of money in it, and we rehabbed it, and it's going to be open this fall. So I can't wait for y'all to start doing that too. Then what we're gonna do is the people that come to the healing home, they will have direct access to the clinic by way of a beautiful Sprinter van. So in the risings, when you wake up after you do your yoga and your stretch routines and you hydrate and take your first herbal regimen, we will come pick you up from the farm and take you straight to the clinic, and then you'll be doing therapies all day, and then you'll go back to the farm. You will eat your food, and then you'll be able to live on the land, be around the horses, be around the animals, the chickens, and pick fruit from trees and just vibe out. The whole thing is about changing the environment. If you change your environment and you change your mindset, your body will match that frequency and morph and change with it. Y'all seen me as a skinny healer before. Y'all seen me as a medium healer before. Y'all seen me as a fat lion healer before. And now I'm back to my original size. You know what I'm saying? So y'all seen my journey and how I started off being who I said I was. Then I became a liar telling y'all to heal yourselves, but I was lying to myself because I was out eating poor vegan food, ended up getting overweight. Then I had to focus and double down on myself, and now I'm back being who I said I was. It's a journey. Everybody go through it. Just because I got all this knowledge don't mean I know everything. And as y'all can see, I had to re-heal myself. The same thing that a lot of y'all have to do. I do not claim to be y'all healer. That'll be taking away credit from the creator. Your body was created with its own healing mechanism. I am just here to give you the knowledge, give you the information, and to provide the environment. And that's what healing the illusion we call disease, the book actually do. And that's what my clinic do. And that's what my detoxification home here in Hazelwood, Missouri do as well. So we talking about cancer. I know when you first hear the word cancer, the first thing you think of is probably not a scientific answer. You're probably thinking about death because everybody thinks cancer is a death sentence. The first thing you start thinking about is chemotherapy. You start thinking and picturing your loved ones or even yourself having bald hair. You getting very frail, skinny, and you constantly in the hospital, skin burns from the radiation, organ, kidney failure, and things like that. But that is the side effects from the allopathic treatment of cancer. Everybody know that chemotherapy is 100% derivative of mustard gas, and mustard gas was actually used in a world war, and it was created by the Germans. And when you actually look at it, it comes from an actual weapon of warfare called Zyklon B. When you start looking these things up. So, a lot of people are dying from the actual treatment of cancer by the allopathic community, but we don't necessarily see people dying of actual cancer. And I'm going to show you why. We have been tricked and we have been morphed into this belief that we can only depend on the allopathic community when we get diagnosed with the so-called C word. But as we get into the anatomy and as we get into the physiology of what's going on inside the body when you get cancer, it's not really what people say it is. And that's what I want to go into. But before we go into that, I want to show y'all healing testimonies of cancer. The reason why my YouTube channel got taken from me 3 times anyway, the reason why they took me off of Twitter, the reason why they took me off of what else not be TikTok. The reason why they took me off of all these platforms is because the healing testimonies and all of the data and research I have gathered in the last 15 years is undeniable. You can heal your body naturally. And I'm not the only one doing this, and I'm not the only one saying this. You know what I'm saying? So let's load up these videos first. If you are on my Instagram, it'll be best if you go to my actual blue check Facebook page. That way you can see the whole video. But y'all know that YouTube videos is vertical, so you ain't gonna be able to see the whole video. You need a landscape or a horizontal screen. So come over to Yaki Rafa Elohim. It's a blue check on my Facebook, and you'll be able to watch the whole entire video. So let me drop that for y'all. We'll look at a couple healing testimonies, and then once y'all are comfortable and y'all see all of these people that are being healed, healing themselves from cancer, from the information, and for them offering, for me offering my facility and giving them herbal protocols and giving them a diet and changing up their environment. Once you get confident enough, maybe you'll be like, okay, let me open up my heart. Let me open up my ears and really listen to what Dr. Yakai is saying. So let's do that first. So I'm going to start off with this one first.
After we did the holistic way, her stomach had completely softened. The mask had her stomach like rock solid hard. But after she went the holistic way, her stomach had softened. And literally, them telling us she only has 2 months to live, planning her funeral to now. That happened when she was 2 years old. Royalty is now 6 years old. She's in kindergarten. She's excelling. She's really, really advanced. Her teacher always compliments how she comprehends things. And she's actually more advanced than some of the children that she go to school with. I noticed that the hospital was more focused on research and Yaki was more focused on saving my baby.
Peace, peace. I know we've been coming at y'all with a bunch of different healing testimonies. This one is by far one of my favorites. And the reason why is because this family right here is very dear to me. I consider them a family. I actually grew up with them. So it's ironic, that baby Royalty went through what she went through and I was able to be an assistant. So, this is baby Royalty. This is her mother Jasmine, and this is Jasmine's mother. What was going on with baby Royalty? Royalty had multiple mass malignant tumors around both of her kidneys. Not only did she have multiple malignant tumors around her kidneys, but she also had hypertension. We all are bilateral people. One side of her body was bigger than the other. So they got in contact with me. They did the holistic route. They took the herbs. They took the diet plan. We got to finally get Royalty to eat her fruits and her vegetables and drink her berry juice and drink her bitter teas. And about, I say 6 months to a year later, she don't have any malignancy. She's completely healthy. She's completely cancer free. The reason why I'm not holding up the paperwork with this one is because they put all of her results, her before and her afters, on the disc. So during the documentary, we're going to open up the disc. I'm going to pull out the pictures and stuff. Of course, we're going to hide all of y'all information, and we're going to show it during the documentary. But I want to give a round of applause. Now, yeah, I met Royalty. She was completely bald from the chemotherapy. How people don't want to touch this stuff. It's like everybody is so scared. And it's like, look, you got to die anyway, family. Everybody that's listening to this transmission, everybody that's here with me right now, we all have to transition out of this physical body and go somewhere one day. Why not go somewhere knowing that you left behind and you left everything on the table? You swung every fist that you could. You fought. You went out doing something and trying to make a very, very big difference in the world by helping people and saving people. You will be surprised how many people that's in the power of position that can really, take a lot of my literature, take a lot of my teachings, and take a lot of the stuff that we doing is far, but they won't. We literally have a accredited laboratory. We do blood tests. We do IV therapy. We do so much stuff. And it's just swept under a rug, for one, because of who I am. For two, I guess I don't look like a traditional healer. And then for three, it scares a lot of people because you are threatening big companies when you're coming and you're showing and proving that, look, God created the earth and food from the earth. And if you just revert back, see, the scripture call it repent. If you just return back to what the creator created for us and you start getting back on that diet, you start drinking the things that the creator gave us to drink, and you get back into nature, you get sunlight, and you get rid of these environmental pollutants as much as possible, and you cleanse your body of parasites, which is going to be a main thing that we talk about today. These cancer diagnoses reverse. They do all the time, like clockwork. Now, do we lose some people? Yes, we do. Do some people be too far gone because they had too much chemotherapy, too much radiation, or they had a surgery that went bad? Yes, that happens at times. But we win way more fights than we lose. Am I lying, IB? We win way more than we lose. And only time that we really lose them is to the system when they try to play both sides. And I'm not sitting here telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what we have researched, what we have experienced in clinical trials. We only lose people when they want to do both. That's what we have found out. Some people might get different results, but that's what we have found out. So let me put this back on, and y'all can see baby Royalty ring the bell, and then we'll show a few more, and then we'll get into the presentation.
After we did the holistic way,
one side of her body was bigger than the other. So they got in contact with me. They did the holistic route. They took the herbs. They took the diet plan. We got to finally get Royalty to eat her fruits and her vegetables and drink her berry juice and drink her bitter teas. And about, I say 6 months to a year later, she don't have any malignancy. She's completely healthy. She's completely cancer-free. The reason why I'm not holding up the paperwork with this one is because they put all of her results, her before and her afters, on the disc. So during the documentary, we're going to open up the disc. I'm going to pull out the pictures and stuff. Of course, we're going to hide all of y'all information, and we're going to show it during the documentary. But I want to give a round of applause, not only to baby Royalty, but to Mama and to Jazz for sticking to their gut, their intuition, and going the holistic route. And now we got the cancer-free. So let's go. So, Miss Royalty. And this is the crazy part, y'all. When I met Royalty, she was completely bald from the chemotherapy. So, yeah. So look, Royalty, I want you to grab this and I want you to ring the bell 3 times. And the reason why we have this bell, a lot of people keep saying, quit doing the traditional way and getting the bell. And the reason why is because they're being robbed from ringing the bell when they choose to go the holistic route. So, when you go to the allopathic community, they let you ring the bell when you go into remission once they give you your chemotherapy, your radiation, and your surgery. So people like Royalty, people like all of the other children that, by way of our facilitating have been healed from cancer, they are denying them the ringing the bell process. That's the reason why we got the custom ringing bell process here at Dr. Yaki Health and Wellness Facility. So Royalty, grab your string and ring the bell 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Good job, baby. Good job. Give me a hug. This is a
So that's one of them. Here go another one right here. I'm going to show about 3 of them. If y'all want more than 3, I do want to get to the presentation. I show them, but we had about 3 of them.
When I got the news about Isaiah was when I took him to the hospital. It was the day after Thanksgiving, and I took him to the emergency room like his primary care doctor suggested. And they did the ultrasound, and they came back and they said they never saw anything like this. They saw he had a few nodules on his thyroid. They were very concerned because they said that he was 6 years old and it looks like cancer, and they never saw something like this in a 6-year-old child, because thyroid cancer is normally not something that a child gets.
This is a story about a young man moving basically to an urban area surrounded by chemical complex with high radiation levels and developing thyroid cancer at a young age, 7 years old. Mother, basically already Caribbean, know about the herbal lifestyle, know about the natural ways, put her son on the fruits, put her son on herbs, and then get in contact with Yaki Awaken Health and Wellness Facility. We ship herbs over, we changed diet up, and then boom, cancer disappeared. So this is Mother Sade. This is Isaiah. When y'all see him a long time ago, it was about 4 years ago, he was shorter than what he was now, and he didn't have this much meat on his bones because he was going through his healing process. But now we see 4 years later, he's growing, he's cancer-free, his skin is vibrant, and he's looking better than ever. So since he do have this cancer-free diagnosis, we're going to put up the paperwork and show everything. It's time for him to ring the bell. And again, I can't keep expressing enough that you have multiple options. You don't have to just stick to the regular standard of care. They're going to scare you. They're going to give you fear tactics. They're going to threaten your life. They're going to threaten you with imprisonment. They're going to try to snatch your children from you. But we are natural sons and daughters of the Most High. Naturally. And since we are natural sons and daughters of the Most High have gave us natural food and substances that we can take when our bodies are going through any type of ailments. So Isaiah, I want to give you a handshake. Congratulations, man, you did it, and we want you to ring the bell 3 times. One more. Congratulations. So I want to say this.
We'll do one more, y'all. We'll do one more, all right?
This one is very dear to me too.
Her father's first reaction was kind of like when they walked in, they were like, "Have you heard of leukemia?" And he just busted into tears at that moment. The third chemo was so harsh on her body. She was throwing up like back to back, and she was losing weight just in that week that she did chemotherapy. She threw up so much. They had her on Ativan and Zofran every 3 hours just to control her vomiting, and it still didn't control it. They sent us home like that and told me just to keep giving her the medicine and giving her the medicine and it would stop, but it didn't. And they sent us home on a Friday. By the time we got back that Monday, she was so dehydrated, all she could do was lay on the bed in a ball. They had to shoot Zofran and...
Beautiful story. She just told the whole story. It was amazing. Basically, Kaylee was diagnosed with neoblastoma. She also was diagnosed with leukemia. She did chemotherapy, radiation. They took her teeth out of her mouth.
They had them taken out all of her front teeth because during...
For her. So what she did was, her
let her finish
we put
the car, and the doctor calls and he was like, July 17th, we actually got the package after he all
ways to heal the body. All you have to do is go back to nature. What were we doing 1,000 years ago? And once you start following those protocols and you start getting back in sunlight, you start drinking and hydrating the body, you start replacing all of the things that you are deficient with the minerals and everything that you need, and you open up the lymphatic system to let that sewer system truly drain itself, you're gonna always get healing results. And that's just what it is. So for y'all that think that you too far gone, as long as you got breath in your body, as long as you alive and as long as you breathing, there is a chance. Peace.
But so I just wanted to show y'all that we know what we doing. We know what cancer is. We know how the physiology of cancer. We are very, very studied when it comes to anatomy. We know about pH, potential hydrogen. And I'm here to tell you that cancer is a healing mechanism. Let me say that again. Cancer is a healing mechanism. You hear a bunch of people saying it now. They got it from me. I've been saying this for almost 7 years now. I've been showing and proving. And now it's mainstream because a lot of people take the information, which they supposed to do, and they go forth and they teach it. So cancer is a healing mechanism, and I want to show y'all. And what we've been finding out is a lot of these cancers are being misdiagnosed, and they're actually parasitic infections. And I want to show y'all how parasites can go inside the body, and they will find a very acidic, metabolic acidosis, acidic place, and they will literally form and grab tissues and use the fascia to wrap a cocoon around their eggs, and then they live in there and they incubate their eggs and they let their eggs hatch inside of these little pockets of tissue where all of this acid, all of this iron, metabolic waste built up, a bunch of calcium is stuck up in there, mucus, and they use these things as a pod to actually lay their eggs and to hatch and give birth. And now it's just came to mainstream media from the last 2 years, when we've been speaking about this for almost a decade, that 98% of your cancer diagnosis is actually a parasitic infection. And I'm going to show y'all this. So again, if you don't like stuff like what I'm finna show, because it's going to be graphic, I'm going to be showing tumors that we pulled out here at our facility. I'm going to be showing a bunch of worms that then came out, a bunch of people, Phascolopsis, Booski worms, hookworms, thread worms, fluke worms, things that people that come here with cancer that get the negative results, that get that they don't have it no more, the things that come out of their body. And we're going to talk about the physiology. When the body lacks oxygen, when the body lacks minerals, when the body lacks amino acids, when the body lacks carboxylic acid, when the body lacks phytonutrients, when the body lacks its phenols, when the body lacks its flavonoids, when the body lacks the essential things that it needs to create energy, the body goes to what it naturally used to do, which is fermentation. This fermentation brings on more deprivation of oxygen. The more the body cannot utilize oxygen and is being deprived of oxygen, what it does is it goes through something called glycolysis. Once it goes through glycolysis, it's supposed to use the whole purpose of the body. Let me get this here. Write this down. The whole purpose and function of the body is to experience reality for its consciousness. Let's establish that first. The only reason why you have a physical vehicle is for your consciousness to experience reality. All right. That's the only reason why we have these bodies. I got this, my hands, where I can grab things. I can touch things. I can get familiar with things. I can get familiar with texture. And in my hands, I have senses. These senses go back to a limbic system. And this is how I download information. Same thing with my tongue and with my teeth. It's to taste food, right? I have taste senses to download information. It's to chew. It's to talk. It's to speak, to communicate, for I can gather information. My eyes is for my consciousness can see, for I can decode what's in front of me. And if we're going to be honest, we are really looking at the universe through a peephole, because we only see out of a certain amount of spectrums. We only hear from a certain amount of spectrums. We only can feel and touch from a certain amount of spectrum. So we're not even seeing 100% what's really in front of us. We're not hearing 100% of what's around us. We don't even feel 100% of the things that we touch. So we are looking and we are operating and experiencing the universe through literally a keyhole. We don't even, and that's why people that operate beyond the keyhole, they call it supernatural. But these are people that have tapped into their consciousness and they just know how to vibrate high. So the whole point of a body is for your consciousness to experience reality. Now, imagine you trying to experience reality, but you can't because you have blockages. And your blockages is your body or what we call the vehicle or the vessel. And it's because you're stuck in acidosis. Your gut have became your God. You have so many acids and mucus that's filling your gut, and you done messed up the microbiota or the microbiome inside the gut, so your neurological functions is off. Now you having schizophrenia, you having psychosis, you can't think straight because your gut, which is your true first brain, is not even operating at the full potential that it could be operating. Now you have diabetes. Now you got to get your leg, your foot cut off. Now you have heart disease. Now you have lymphedema. Your lymphatic system is so stagnated that you got to wear circulation socks. You can't even walk around. Now something is going on with your nervous system. You have parasites that hijack these senses. So if you're supposed to be experiencing reality, collecting information from this vessel, because we are biological quantum computers that's gathering data and information to expand consciousness, then the last thing you need to be focused on is your body. You're not even supposed to know that this body truly exists. You're supposed to be so pain-free and so at peace with your physical vehicle that you don't even know that you're hardwired by the nervous system into this vehicle. But since we are dealing with so many environmental pollutants, since we eating food that's not the right food, since we drinking water that is tainted, that is contaminated with all types of viruses, with all types of microplastics, with all types of steroids like estrogen, with all types of heavy metals. And then now we have Wi-Fi, and they're hooking our nervous system up to these Wi-Fis, and we are literally becoming a communication command center. They're using our body and all this radiation from cell phones, artificial light. I mean, so much distorted information, dirty electricity, dirty radiation, contaminated food, GMO foods. All of these things are coming into our vehicle, and it is making our body mutate because it's sending us in survival mode. And one thing about humans, you truly can't annihilate us. You get rid of us, there are going to be survivors. There's always some type of small group of humans that survive because our cells know how to adapt because of our micro profile. So right now, we are calling that mutation stage of survival disease, and it's not. It's the body crying and pleading that you do something about it. And cancer is the last step. Cancer is the last step. Once you see people get the cancer diagnosis, that means they ignored all of the detoxification signs. They ignored all of the signals telling them to go ahead and detox. So what the body does is the body will go into survival mode. The cells will mutate to survive. It will create a trash bag. It will stick all the metabolic waste. It will stick all the unbound iron. It will stick all the unbound calcium. It'll stick all the metabolites. It'll stick all the endotoxins toxins into this trash bag, this fleshly trash bag, and it'll cut it off for it won't go inside of the bloodstream or for it won't make it inside the tissues, and then you die of acidosis. So when you looking at cancer, how I look at it, I truly look at cancer like a second chance. Now, I'm not here trying to make anybody mad at me. I'm not here trying to desensitize anybody. I'm not here not being I'm not being careless. I'm not saying your disease ain't nothing. No, I feel you and I feel your pain. Thousands of people come to this clinic. We see thousands of people. I have detoxed over 150,000 people since the last 15 years, whether it be hands-on, whether it be through retreats, whether it be through selling millions of products online, whether it be through gatherings, whether it be through conferences, whether it be through the multiple healing homes that I had set up across America. We done detox clinically over 150,000 people. So if anybody feel your pain, I feel your pain. But I'm just telling you that there's a different perspective and a different way to look at disease. And maybe your body is trying to help you, but you have just been tricked into believing that this final health system is actually disease. And then you just automatically accept the death sentence when it's not that. That is not it. Do you know how many tumors that done fell out of people, or tumors that get pulled out of people, and we get access to the tumors and we check these tumors and we put them under a microscope and we see toxins in there? We see toxins. We see metabolites inside of them. We see parasites inside of them, especially hemithworm. Them gnarly hemithworm, we always find them. We see metabolic waste, but guess what else we find when I put them under there? We see the immune system, or what you will call the great lymphatic defense systems. We see neutrophils. We see basophils. You see that? We see monocytes. We see lymphocytes. We see in eosinophils. And then the eosinophil level is always high when I check your blood, because that is actually an antigen or a marker to show that you actually have parasites in the body. So when you looking at a tumor and you look inside this trash bag, imagine going into your house and you saying that the house is clean, but the trash is full. That means somebody cleaned up the house, right? The only thing they didn't do was take out the trash. If you go into a household right now, the household spick and span, but you get into the kitchen and you smell this foul smell, and it's because the trash haven't been taken out, but the trash bags is nicely put and all the trash inside of them. What you gonna do? The first thing you gonna do is take the trash and you gonna take it to the garbage dumpster outside, and you gonna put that can on the street corner. That's all we need to do with cancer. The body represents the temple of God, the temple of Yahuwah. The body represents the house. The trash bag represents the tumor. So the body is clean. It's in a localized place. And this is what you call inflammation. It's the localization of what we will call imbalances of energy or of acidosis. So you start looking at all of these different symptomologies, and these symptomologies is the body detoxifying itself. And we have been reprogrammed, and we have been taught that the body's natural healing mechanisms is disease when it's not. Now, if it's safe to say disease as in the energy cannot flow easily throughout the body, so now is that dis-ease because it's not easily flowing? We can say that. But if we saying dis-ease mean a death sentence, then that is not true at all, because we have seen the body naturally heal itself time and time again through these detoxification symptoms. I tell y'all all the time, when you sneeze, if you sneeze right now, hachu, particles come out of your nasal passage and out of your mouth. You are getting rid of different type of particles that is bad for what we will call the lymphatic defense system or the immune system. So your body have a reaction to literally projectile all of the things that's coming from the air that's not supposed to be in your body out of your body. Hachu. You getting rid of poisons, you getting rid of toxins. Same thing for a cough. If you cough, just hold your chest. You're breaking up coagulation. You're breaking up basically a bunch of pockets of mucus and different air pollutants and different environmental poisons that's been inside the bronchial tube. So what they do is called suppressive therapy. They want to suppress the cough. They're going to give you a cough suppressive. They want to get rid of your sneeze. They're going to give you allergy medicines like Claritin. They want to suppress the symptomologies and keep these things systemically deep within you, but your body have a natural mechanism that automatically try to evacuate all these things out. A fever. People get a fever. The first thing you want to do is get Tylenol and get Benadryl to get rid of the fever. Or you want to run your children to the hospital. And I'm not saying if the child have a fever over 105 and it's been that way for 2 hours, don't take the baby to the emergency room. You better, because you can mess up the brain, because when a fever get that high, you can stop oxygen flow to the brain. But a natural fever from 100 to 103, that is the body healing itself. It is heating up the body. It is getting things circulating. It is thinning the blood for all of the nutrients and the phytochemicals that need to go to that area can heal the area. Also, it picks up temperature of the tissues, and certain, not all, but certain parasitics that causes these so-called diseases can't survive in temperatures 100.2 and up. So when you look at a fever is to thin out the blood, to increase circulation, but you can get blood and oxygen to certain tissues so you can heal those tissues, and then also to kill certain parasites that can't live in those type of high temperature conditions. But what you do, you want to do Benadryl, you want to do Tylenol, you want to do baby Advil, you want to do all of these other things because you want to suppress the actual fever. And then people hate skin. Oh, I got a skin reaction. My skin is bad. I got I need to go see a dermatologist. I got psoriasis. I got severe acne. But it's your skin defecating. It's your skin taking a poop. Just help it out. How do you help your skin take a poop? How do you take that trash out? Go sit in the sauna for 30 minutes. It will open up your pores. All of those chronic bumps that's on you will release all of their toxins. You do this for a week straight, guess what? Your skin will automatically clear up. So what we need to be focusing on, how to take out the trash. That's all. The house is already clean. The maid is in the house cleaning the house. She just don't know and have the sense to take out the trash. She's saying, look, I'm a maid. I'm not a trash man. And that's what your body is saying. Your lymphatic system is saying, I'm a maid. I know how to clean up. Your blood is saying, I'm a maid. I know how to clean up. And the blood is a cook. I know how to get behind the stove. I know how to feed you and give you all the phytonutrients. Now you just need that trash man and that plumber to come and get that trash out of the trash bag. But we are blaming the trash bag. How you blaming the trash bag? No, I am glad all of these toxins and all of this trash was put in the trash can inside the house. Yeah, it stink. Yeah, it's maggots in here. Yeah, I see flies around it. That's because we didn't have nobody to take out the trash. But instead, we want to blame the trash, and you want to burn down a house, and you want to take off the roof to get rid of the trash. Don't even make sense. The trash is in the trash bag. Instead of you coming to take the trash out, you rather remodel the whole house. You want to take off the roof to the house. You want to pull the carpet up. That's what chemotherapy and radiation is doing. It's focusing on everything but the main problem. The main issue is that the body had the toxins, the body had the metabolites, the body had the metabolic waste byproducts in it in the first place. The body's smart enough to localize the area, put it in a fleshly tumor, fleshly tissues that we call a tumor, which is nothing but a trash bag. So a natural healer, to make it simple, oh, let me just take out the trash. Let me help the body do what it's doing anyway, which is detoxifying. But the NRF2 pathways, all of the pathways, the detoxification pathways, the bile duct, the hepatic ducts, it's not open enough because you got gallstones, you got all of these different calcifications inside the body, all the solidification of the lymphatic system. So instead of helping by hydrating the body, getting sunlight, going through biophotomodulation, or what we'll call photosynthesis, which is what plants do, you want to do everything unnatural, and you turn your back against God. You turn your back against nature instead of repenting, which means to turn back, shuv in Hebrew. Turn back and go back to the actual natural state that the Creator put you in the first place. You do everything artificial, and then you wonder why you get the death sentence. The death sentence didn't come from the cancer. The death sentence didn't come from the diabetes. The death sentence didn't come from the herpes. The death sentence didn't come from the HIV. The death sentence don't come from that. It's your perception and what you do after the diagnosis. That's what causes the death. It's your immediate steps and thought process after you get diagnosed with these so-called diseases. And this is the reason why the book is so profound, because I'm not only talking about physiology, anatomy, and how to detox. I'm showing you a new way to look at healing, a new way to look at God, a new way to look at your body, a new perception. It's two different types of perception. You have the contagion perception. You have your body hates itself. You got to go to war with your body. Why do I have to go to war with my body? Now, since I'm at war with my body, I need weapons. And guess what these weapons of mass destruction is? Chemotherapy, radiation, some surgeries, because some surgeries are needed. If I got a tumor that's pressing up against an artery and my blood can't circulate properly, I'm not an extremist. Take this tumor away from me now. You see that? So I'm not telling y'all don't go to the doctor. Dr. Yaki is not saying that. I'm not saying don't put a little faith in these, because surgeries they good at. You know, nutrition, horrible. Do you know when a doctor go to school for those 9 years, they only get 2 to 3 hours of nutritional classes? 2 to 3 hours of nutritional classes. Ain't that crazy? So you have a doctor that's telling you how to change your life around, that's telling you how to get better, that's telling you what you need to do after you've been diagnosed with these diseases, and they've been in school that long, and they only get 2 to 3 hours of nutritional classes. That is the issue in America right now, right there. That's the issue. For one, we don't know nothing about food. We don't even know what food is. What is food? Food, by real definition, from a Hebraic, from a original standpoint, is something that gives you natural energy and have the least acidic blowback. That's food. Food that gives you natural energy and have the least blowback. It's kind of like a car that you get premium gas. You get gas, it's beautiful gas. The gas is expensive. It is. It's expensive, but you can't get it nowhere else. And guess what? It's going to have a least amount of that exhaust that comes from that exhaust pipe. It's going to be environmental friendly. It's going to be, you get a blowback, but it's not going to be from the blowback like putting unleaded in your car or putting that crazy diesel in your car that is polluting the whole entire world. That's the same way with the body. So true food is food that gives you vitality. It's food that gives you energy. It's food that have minerals for you can get the right amount of enzymes in your body. It's food that have carboxylic acid and amino acids to rebuild your tissues. It's foods that have electrolytes, cations, anions, positives and negative charge to keep your nervous system electrical. Your food's supposed to be electric. They don't tell you that. You get diagnosed, they tell you can eat what you want to eat. You get high cholesterol, they tell you can have a statin drug. So it's time for us to just change the way we looking at disease, change the way we looking at cancer. So instead of looking at cancer and you automatically think about all your loved ones that died and you just associate it with the word, you never associate they did get chemotherapy. You never associate, dang, they did get radiation. Dang, they did take those pills. Hold on, did they die of cancer or did they die from organ failure? Oh, so it wasn't the cancer. It was the allopathic treatment. It was the medicine and the chemo and the radiation that further burn their cells. And then you get real deep into the research. Chemotherapy and radiation causes cancer because it burns and it deprives the cells of oxygen. So did it shrink the tumor? Yes, it did. How did it shrink the tumor? It's like putting a piece of meat in the microwave. You put the meat in the microwave long enough, it starts off juicy. You come get it out, it's burnt up and it's shriveled up because you done deprived all the oxygen and all the H2O molecules from the meat. That's the same thing that these different types of mass chemical, I'm going to call it a mass chemical warfare, a chemical weapon, a mass weapon of destruction, which is truly what it is. So then you automatically associate the death with the word cancer, but you don't associate it with the treatment that sent the person into the other side of this ram, the other ram in the first place. We have to start slowing down and really looking at what's going on. There is a battle going on between the prince of darkness and the prince of light, y'all. Y'all can say, look, when they talk about spiritual wickedness in high places, that stuff truly exists when you see what we up against. I get in trouble. They follow me around. They try to lock me up. They try to poison our food. They take down all my channels just for speaking truth and wanting my people to heal longer. That have to be a diabolical, evil mindset to even think about that. Because if I'm trying to make you live longer and you are literally trying to silence me from making you live longer, that means their agenda is only one agenda, to make you live shorter. So now you start getting into things like depopulation control. It's not a conspiracy theorist no more. When you start looking at what's going on in the community, what is happening? Do you realize since these so-called shots, that the cancer rate went up 73%? 73%. They even got a word for it now. They're calling it turbo cancer. Turbo cancer. Do you know how many pancreatic cancer patients that's been coming to us? How many stomach cancer patients been coming to us? Now, tell them what's going on every single day. I've never seen so much colon cancer in my life. And then you check these people's blood. You put the blood under a microscope. They blood, I'm talking about, is infected. Infested with all types of parasites and heavy metals. all acids. You know how much mucus I've been seeing in the blood lately? It's super depressing. And then the first thing you do, you try to talk to them, and they already have their mind made up. They already been bought into the program because they've been taught this. Transgenerational epigenetic inheritance is a real thing. They've been taught this. This has been passed down to their grandfather. Their grandfather went through the same thing and, went into remission and then died 5 years later because the cancer came back more aggressive. And they not understanding, why did this cancer come back? Oh, because you use chemical weapons of warfare to get rid of the issues, and you didn't go by the physical laws of the creator. Just turn back. Simple. You get rid of sunlight, you're going to get depressed. You get rid of sunlight, every cell in your body have a chromophore. Every cell in your body have a benzene ring chromophore. Every cell in your body have a vitamin D receptor. That means that sunlight is essential. It's essential. But guess what? They create jobs for you. They stick you in a cubicle for 9 to 10 hours a day, and then they expect you to get the right amount of cholesterol and to convert this cholesterol over to the vitamin D for you to get the right amount of dopamine and serotonin, and you can synthesize your cells and proteins, right? How is that possible if you work 9 to 10 hours a day away from the sun? Then you get off, it's dark. It's dark. And then when you get off, you got all these artificial lights in your house pretending to be the sun. Your body don't know the difference between artificial lights and the sun. So now the sun is out all day, completely messing up your circadian rhythm. Now you're not even producing the right melatonin, so you up at 5 a.m. thinking, and you don't know why you thinking, because cortisol is high as hell because your body is tricked to believing that the sun is coming up and that it's 6 a.m., and then you wonder why you have all of these metabolic diseases. Then the water. The water is so contaminated. So contaminated. We was just in Miami on the ocean for my birthday, and we on jet skis, and I'm trying to have as much fun as possible, but my scientific mind could not stop looking at all the damn cups and everything floating around in the water. I just started praying to the creator. Creator, come shake this up. Flip the world upside down. All the people that ain't supposed to be here that got this type of mindset to pollute the earth like that, which is a living entity. I know they polluting their bodies because everything I seen in the water is something I wouldn't drink or eat anyway. I'm seeing all types of beer cans floating in the water, bottles sinking to the water. It's chicken and chicken plastic all in the water. It's stuff that if you really healthy and you really love yourself, you wouldn't be stuffing in your body anyway. I seen all of that in the oceans. And then literally 3 days after that, the creator sent me a video by a brother. I can't think the brother name, but thank you for sending me a video where they showed millions of fish just dying and washing up the shore. Millions just washing up the shore. And you're like, dang, this is not only an attack on humans, this is an attack on Earth herself. So me as a fighter of light, a son of light, I got to stand up and I got to shine my light in the darkness. So if that means, ruffling some feathers or, not being cool with the persons that I'm supposed to be, look, so be it, because somebody got to stand up and say something, y'all. Y'all have been tricked into believing that disease is an actual death sentence and that disease is real. But from me studying, from my experience, and from almost 15 years of clinical trials, 150,000 people and maybe a little bit more, but I'm trying to be humble. All I have seen is detoxification symptoms. Now, let me show y'all stuff. Look at this stuff. This just came out of a brother recently. Look at those. Them are hookworms. These are hookworms coming out of a brother's stool. Hookworms. They are alive. Look, and the crazy part about it is, how do I get it off? Can y'all see that? Can you see that, Nabi? I pulled it up. That's a hookworm. And look, the crazy part about it is they so smart because the herbs that the particular brother own, you're not really. So for one, let me say this. You don't really kill parasites. You can, like with the ivermectin and with the fenbendazole and stuff like that, because these are chemical derivatives that come from wormwood and stuff like that. So you can kill them. But what really happened is when you take natural herbs, it don't per se kill the parasite. It makes the parasite, it basically make them where they can't move. So parasites suck on. Let me hold on real fast. Now I gotta pull out the. Show y'all real. So when you look at parasites, especially ones in the gut, like I want to talk about Phascolopticus boyski, fluke worms, tapeworms. what they do is they take their mouths and then they suck and they cleave on to the actual lining of the intestines. Usually you find them in the duodenum, you find them in the colon, you find them in the jejunum, and you find them in the ileum, right? And what they do is they suck on blood, and then when they suck on blood, they get the nutrients before you able to get the nutrients into the capillary bed. So what herbs do, herbs basically make them go through something where they can't move. They can't move, so they break off. It paralyzes them. So when it paralyzes them, they break off, and then when you poop and you ejectile all of that poop, they come out with it, so they still be alive. And then what happens is the clove and stuff like that dries out the egg. So you never really actually killing the parasite. You just basically paralyzing them for you can ejaculate, for you can evacuate them out. I said ejaculate, still isn't the word. But you can evacuate them out the body. I mean, it is. Still got an ejaculation. So when you look at what you're doing, and the reason why I'm saying this is this, y'all. So I got a brother. I have a brother, right? And my brother on the herbs right now, getting rid of a bunch of parasites. But he was wondering, he like, look, I'm getting rid of all these parasites, but these parasites still alive. You know, I see them in the toilet still moving. I'm taking all these herbs. Why they not dead? And I said, well, the herbs is not necessarily killing them. It's just literally taking them to where they can't move no more. It is hijacking their nervous system and they come out. But once they hit that water, they wake back up and they start swimming, going every other which way. And it just fascinated him so much. So look at all this stuff. These are actual tumors. This is a tumor, an ugly tumor, right? And I'm glad we got it out of her. That's a tumor. Look at the mucus on the tumor. If you can really look at the tumor, you can actually see fungus on the tumor as well. And this is from cervical cancer, right, Nabi? She had cervical cancer. These came out of her cervix. And I want to show you that we actually put them up against to show you how big it is. Look at that. Y'all see the mold at the top right? Look in the middle. Y'all can see the mucus. Y'all see all of that? And then when you cut them open, they full of parasites, full of iron. And that's the first indication that you are going towards what you will call cancer is anemia, especially in women. You automatically go on your menstrual cycle once a month. So you're getting rid of a lot of iron that way. And then another thing is your liver. Your liver is not utilizing the iron because your adrenals down and you have literally liver flukes inside the liver eating all of your iron. And I'm going to show y'all articles on this and all of that. So once you start really looking at what cancer is, it is not what they saying it is. It's the body trying to heal itself. Now look at this tumor, y'all. It was three tumors that came out. This one is the size of a key lime. It's actually bigger than a key lime. These are parasitical nests. These are caves that the parasites lay their eggs in and go live in. That's what these are. And all you have to do is take herbs, go back to nature, hydrate, eat alkaline forming food, detoxify, make sure you taking binders. And whenever you doing, if you taking greater wormwood, if you taking cloves, if you doing things like per the arco, if you taking any of these parasite, I don't want to say killing herbs, these parasite eliminating herbs, make sure you taking activated charcoal with them. Make sure you taking psyllium musk with them, something that's going to bind to them to help them flush out the body because you're going to get the die-off. And the die-off is called parasitic lysis. It's when these parasites eat, because they go through a cycle too, and then they end up dying in you. And when they die, they swell up like a deer do on the side of a road. And you know how a deer, you hit a deer and don't nobody come pick the deer up? Well, the deer his stomach was swell up with all this methane and all this gas. And then one day it just busts open. And that's when you start smelling that stinky smell. And guess what you see? You see a bunch of maggots and stuff coming from it. That's because everything that exploded from the gut. The same thing happened with parasites inside of your body in your cells when they die if you don't go through autophagy the correct way. If you don't go through autophagy, autophagy the correct way, when your cells and when these parasites die off, they bust open. And when they bust open, all of their DNA strands go through your system. This is where you get viruses from. Most of the time, the viruses that you catch is from the parasites that's already within inside the body. They died and then they went through parasitic lysis and they exploded, and all of their organelles, all of their DNA, all of their RNA, all of their fragments have projectile through your whole entire body, and then now your antibodies get built up because your immune system, or what I'm going to call the lymphatic defense system, go through and tag them throughout the day and night, and then boom, you feel symptoms, you go to the doctor check your blood, and then he say, oh, you building up an antibody for this, so you must have this. That's how it works. But we never think, okay, a parasite died. I need to give it a proper funeral. Get it out of the body, put it in the casket, put it in the ground. It shouldn't stay in you. So it's the way we looking at disease is why we are dying. It's not the actual so-called disease, because the so-called disease is a natural healing mechanism. And I have yet to see one client, one that was diagnosed from cancer and that didn't have a parasitic infection. Not one. Look at this one, y'all. Y'all see how big this joke is? Look at the head on it. These are real pictures, y'all. Tell them now, but we get stuff sent to us like this. I love it. I tell them, keep sending it. They be like, is it okay, Dr. Yakai? Can I send you my poop? Send all of it. Let me see it. Look at that, y'all. That's a big joker right there. Big joker. Hold on. Let me show y'all this one. Look at that one right there. And look at the threadiness on it. Huge tapeworm. It looked like it's a tapeworm mixed with a thread worm. Nasty, right? This stuff is in you. Do you know in every other country but the UK, London, USA, but South America do it, but not North America. It's a mandatory cleanse every 90 to 120 days. You have to do a parasite cleanse. You have to detox because of the environmental conditions. A lot of them walk without shoes on. And they're around animals and stuff all day. They force them to detox because they know how dangerous these parasites is. But in America, no, they don't do that. In America, the McDonald's over here have additives, preservatives, the cereals, additives, preservatives, dyes. But if you go across the country and go to the same McDonald's and go to the same grocery store, tell me why all of their foods don't have none of the additives, none of the fortification, none of the preservatives. Like, man, come on, man. We got to call a spade here, y'all. Like, they are literally killing us. They are selling death and y'all are buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm on the street corners screaming, cry loud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. That's what scripture tell you to do. Straight up, that's what I'm doing. And from that, okay, I might get ridiculed a little bit. I got the agents and the haters on here. You know, my own people that look like me that's probably getting paid to put out bad press about me. But my work speak for itself. You know, they taking down my pages and stuff like that. But that don't even amount to the amount of work we are doing and the heart and the passion that we have for the people. That's going to always outweigh the Prince of Darkness, y'all. Flat out. Look at this one, y'all. Look at that one right there. Now that's dead. That came out dead. And then we're going to start seeing mucus. Look at this joker. This stuff is nasty when you look at it. Look at that. Look at that one, little joker. And I bet you that came from her liver because we put her on a gallbladder and liver cleanse. She got rid of a bunch of stones, but then we start seeing liver flukes come from it. We start seeing a whole bunch of liver flukes come from it. Whole bunch. That's the type of stuff that you be seeing. Look at this. Look at that one. Look at the head on it. And we see this stuff every day, hundreds and hundreds of pictures. And all you have to do is things like wormwood tea, do a wormwood tincture, and we hit it from all sides. We use the tincture because the alcohol is going to make it into the bloodstream much quicker in the mouth. So we're going to use that. Boom. Then we're going to make you take the tea because then we get to flush the system while it's going down, and then it goes to the stomach, and you get to uptake that into the capillary beds. Then we're going to do the capsules for the slow release. So we hitting it on every single way. Man, these worms, they don't be knowing what to do. So they get paralyzed, they fall out. Some of them already on their last cycle of death, so they going to die anyway. But then cellular lysis comes, so you got to keep detoxifying. The worst thing that you can do, especially with cancer, is start the cleansing mechanism and then stop cleansing. How you taking out the trash bag, but you going to stop before you get to the garage and leave it in the kitchen. So now you got food, you got your food mixed with your poop. Me personally, I've never in my life seen a bathroom in the kitchen. Have you not, B? Have you seen a bathroom in the kitchen? Do you poop and pee where you feed yourself at? And that's what's happening to our bodies, y'all. That's what's happening to our bodies. And then once you start really getting deep into the research and you start looking, tell me why men can test pregnant on a pregnancy test that have cancer. And then you start studying the actual blastocell cells that help create these tumors, or the same blastocell cells that help create a placenta. So now you got to ask yourself, what is the point and purpose of a placenta, and why are the placenta and the tumors are made from the same cells, and why do they function and act in the same exact way? And you see that a placenta is created to give oxygen and nutrients to the baby. So a tumor is created for a place of oxygen deprivation. When your body is lacking oxygen, the body tries to preserve it by creating a tumor, and it gets all of those metabolic waste out of the body to preserve the human being. So just like a placenta is to preserve the fetus, to turn that fetus, well, the embryo into a fetus, and then that fetus into a young child, a young man child, or a young girl child. The same thing happens with the placenta, the actual tumor. It's there to preserve life. So once you start looking at all of this stuff, and you start looking at the human growth hormone, the same thing that happens with a placenta, it happens for a cancer cell, you start saying, hold on, a placenta is there to save the baby. And why is this actual tumor functioning just like the placenta? The placenta go through something called angiogenesis, where it will rewire blood work just for it can get blood, for the baby can get all the phytonutrients it needs. Tell me why tumors go through something called angiogenesis, where it starts rewiring and rerouting blood work to it where it can get more glucose. Ooh-wee. They both got blasto cells. They both only appear in states of oxygen deprivation. So you start looking at tumors and you start looking at actual placentas, then grown men can test positive on a pregnancy test that have cancer. You start looking like, hold on, maybe this is a healing mechanism. Maybe I have been bamboozled to think that, the only thing that can come from this is death, and I have to get chemotherapy and radiation or I will not make it to see my family. But when you start studying the mechanisms and you start studying the physiology, you be like, wow, I am made in the image and the reflection of my creator. I'm just saying. Now, look, check this out, y'all. I just want to pull up a few articles real quick just to show y'all this stuff. Yes, early signs of cancer, parasite infections. Get a blood test. Get your white blood cells checked and look at the eosinophils and look at the basophils. If them eosinophils and them basophils are high, most likely it's an indication that you do have a parasitic infection, and that parasitic infection means you're on your way to cancer if you don't get rid of them, all right? Then another one, check your neutrophils. If your neutrophils are low, that indicates the same things. There's many different ways to check now to see if you got them. And you can get a full comprehensive cancer test, blood test, where you check your CA antigens, you check your AFPs, you check all of that. Yes, you check alpha ferritin proteins. You can check all of that to see. It's so many things that you can do now to check to see if you have cancer. And once you see it, all you got to do is say, okay, my body is in this last healing defense. Let me help it out. Let me detoxify. That's it. All I'm saying is this. We are looking at it wrong, y'all. We looking at this all wrong. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now check this. I want to share my screen with y'all real quick. Just to read some articles. I like to pull up articles to read it because I'm not the only one, saying this. For those that want to read these articles, y'all going to have to go on my Facebook to see the full page. For those that's on Instagram, I'm sorry, this going to cut y'all off because this vertical, this vertical thing that we got going on. Let's go to it real quick, though. Now, check out what this say, y'all. Let me make it bigger. Can I make it bigger? So this says the CDC researchers link cancer cells from parasites to human tumors. All right, CDC researchers, they make a link. They make a connection between cancer cells to parasites in human tumors. And then you start looking at these tumors, and guess what they got in them? Parasites, tapeworms. They call them dwarf tapeworms. They check these in humans. They check them in people. They check them in mice. They check and they see the same thing, y'all. The same exact thing. Y'all look this up. Let me see if I can get it directly in the screen for y'all can see that. Cancer researchers leak these cells, cancer cells, to the actual parasites in human tumors, y'all. And there's so many more of them. Look at this. This is from the CNN Health. CNN Health, y'all. Look at what that say. This is an unusual symptoms pointed to brain cancer turned out to be something completely different. Guess what? They said it was only a lesion. They thought the lesion was brain cancer. And, and this lesion was actually a tumor embedded in the brain. And I tell a lot of people with multiple sclerosis, they soon as I say, do you got a lesion on the brain? I said, man, you dealing with a parasite. Well, what type of parasite? You dealing with a threadworm. You dealing with a hookworm. You dealing with a fluke worm. You dealing with Toxoplasma grandi. You dealing with one of these. Do you got cats? Yes, I got cats. Oh, you might have got it from your cat and your dog. Or you using a pooper scooper? Yes, I am using a pooper scooper. Okay, so now we finding the root cause to all these things, because when you look at Toxoplasma gondii, it goes through something called pheresis. And pheresis is basically where a parasite uses an animal as a ride to get to human beings. Let me say that again. It's called parasitic pheresis. Parasitic pheresis is when a parasite uses an animal as a ride to get to humans. Toxoplasma gondii do it all the time. It will live inside of a cat. It will wait till the cat poop. Then you go use the pooper scooper and it'll get on your skin. It burrows itself into you and it passes the blood and brain barrier. And this thing hijacks the limbic system. Same thing that the fasciculopsis intercellular dimensional worm do with herpes. It drills itself into your spinal column. If it stay at the bottom of this, where the sacral bone at, they call this HSV1. If it travels up that spine and end at that 33 degree vertebrae, what you'll call the ganglia nerve bundle, they call that HSV2. If it just stay on the inner layer of the skin, the mesoderm, they call that psoriasis, chickenpox. If it stays throughout the skin when you older, they call it shingles. You see that? If it mixed with fungus and starts creating not canker sore but warts, they call it HPV. But guess what? We're dealing with the same exact parasite that pleomorphizes itself, and they call it a different disease depending on the localization it is in your body. Same worm though. And these worms love to live in the liver because they know that the liver is literally what metabolize all of your minerals. So if it won't iron, it's going to drill itself in the liver. And then it starts blocking out it blocks bowel. So now you can't release bowel and you can't break down your food. So now you got these smelly stools. Now your stomach is big. You got all this gas. You funkin' rise in the world because you can't stop farting and passing gas. And you wondering, it's a parasite there literally blocking up your bowel duct. And a lot of people think that's fat on you. That's not fat. That is not weight. That is waste. And waste, and that's another thing in my book. When you start reading the book, we talk about obesity. Obesity is not a disease. It's a healing mechanism. Your body creates adipocyte cells or adipose tissues to hold on to toxins and unutilized minerals and steroids. So the more toxins, the more unutilized minerals and unutilized steroids you have, the more fat cells are going to be produced, where it can engulf those toxins and store it away from your extremities. And guess what? The most safest place to store it at is away from the heart. It's away from the heart. So it's going to store itself in the gut. And that's why you see a lot of unhealthy people or skinny fat people have fat guts, but the rest of their body is skinny, or they just fat all over. And you looking, you thinking it's a disease. No, this is a healing symptomology. My body is so intelligent that it's creating more adipose adipocyte cells to hold on to toxins. So when you start detoxing, of course you're going to lose weight, but you only losing weight because you lost what? Waste. So you can even look at the fat cells, how the tumor cells work. You can even look at the fibroids, how tumor cells work. Most of the fibroids full of iron. And then the lady get her blood check. I have no iron. They want to give me a blood transfusion. I tell them all the iron is in that fibroid. Then you finally get the fibroid out of her and it got teeth. It got eyebrows. The most hideous, ugliest looking things. And I'm like, these parasites are trying to manifest themselves in the physical. So when you look at this from a spiritual sense, we are getting these parasites. A lot of them are coming from our body anyway because they're interdimensional. The word is called pleomorphism. Look it up. It truly exists, where these things will shapeshift right before your eyes. Me and Nabi be in the lab upstairs. We'll look at the actual parasite. It will start off as a granule. It'll start off as a dot. It'll go from a dot to looking like it's 2 inches in a split second, depending on the environment that is in. These are facts. We've been recording this stuff for years. So what does that mean? You see what I'm saying? Then you cut these tumors open, you see parasites. You see eggs. Look, I'm not done. Check this one out. Look, check this one out. It gets deeper and deeper, y'all. This one says parasites that can lead to cancer, and it starts naming the parasites. It starts naming them. Like, what do we say with this information? So the whole time you thinking you got this incurable disease, death and chemotherapy, and the whole time the only thing you had to do was deworm? That's all you had to do was deworm. The whole time. Go on a diet, go back to nature, repent, turn back, shuv, go back to nature, go back to the laws that the Creator have established for us. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Look at this one right here. And this give you the whole rundown. Global war against intestinal parasites. Look, should we use the holistic approach? It even asked the question. I mean, this deal say, should we? And this is coming from a scholarly article. Let me show y'all this. Look, check this out, y'all. Here it goes. It's up. Look at that. This is from the International Journal of Infectious Disease. It says the global war against intestinal parasites. Should we use the holistic approach? That's what it said. I had something highlighted in here for y'all. Let me see if it's still highlighted, family. Give me a second. Let me scroll through it. No, there it go right there. Y'all see it? Look, parasitic infections can cause deficiencies of vitamin A, B6, B12, and minerals like iron. I know y'all, and I heard all y'all talking about the way I say iron, y'all. That's messed up. How you say it? Now be iron. I'm gonna say that St. Louis way. Iron, calcium, and magnesium block nutrient absorption. See that? And it diminish immunity, predisposing subjects to serious diseases. Intestinal parasite infections often go undetected for years. And when I say years, up to 20 years, y'all. Up to 20 years. Then you start feeling the symptomologies of it because the body starts creating trash bags. Do you look at these trash bags? Get 3 trash bags full of parasites. But then we look, these parasites break open. You check the parasite, guess what it's full of? Minerals. So you was never mineral deficient. You had the minerals. You just had something inside of you eating all the minerals. Or you didn't have enough other minerals like copper in there helping you regulate your iron and your calcium and your selenium and things like that. This stuff is real deal, y'all. We are dealing with entities that want to live through you. Look, and just going back to the herpes worm. The herpes worm is an intercellular, interdimensional worm. It starts off microscopic. It can get as big as literally 3 inches depending on the place it is in the body. Did you know that it hijacks the nervous system? It can hijack the nervous system and tell you when it wants to eat and what it wants to eat. They hijack your limbic system. They see when you see. They make you hungry when they want to eat. They feel what you feel. So now we got to make the connection between a lustful spirit and a parasitic infection. You want to hump on everything. You don't even know it's these damn interdimensional demons that we call parasites that is hacking your system, hacking your neurological network because they want to experience the pleasure of being human, but they can't be human, so they need a body. Just like your consciousness needs a body. This way more spiritual than what you think. Way more spiritual than what you think. Let's see what else we got here. Here go another one. Check out this one, y'all. This says, I'm going to move it to the side for y'all can see it. Give me 1 second, family. All right, this says iron in the tumor microenvironment connecting the dots. And this shows you how iron be full. I mean, like tumors full of iron, full of it. And they use the iron for the heme group. They use it to pull in oxygen because they know if iron is available and they know that if heme is available, then ferritin 2 can dock itself to iron, which is going to pull oxygen to the blood cell and literally repel carbon dioxide from the blood cell. So when you say I got low iron and you constantly claiming low iron, hey, these are early signs of cancer. But you remember, cancer is not a bad thing. Cancer is a bad thing, meaning that you've been ignoring detoxification signs, but it's actually the body's last chance of trying to heal itself. That's what my book is about, y'all. It goes so deep into so many different topics. We talk about diabetes. I give you high blood pressure, how to look at that in a different way, high cholesterol, how that is a total myth, and how people with higher cholesterol live longer with people with lower cholesterol. Lower cholesterol increases your chances with cancer by 46%. So, but in order for them to sell statin drugs, guess what? You have high cholesterol. High cholesterol is bad. Then you get all of these bad emphasis on cholesterol, but cholesterol makes up the cellular membrane of every individual cell. Cells cannot communicate without cholesterol. Your brain needs cholesterol for melanin neurotransmission. Needs it. Without cholesterol, it's impossible to recreate. It's impossible to reproduce because your cholesterol creates all of your reproduction hormones, pregnenolone, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. All of these are made from cholesterol. Without cholesterol, it's impossible to synthesize vitamin D. So when you start really talking about cholesterol, cholesterol is the body's internal scab. If you get cut right now from let's just say you get cut from some type of protein, let's just say some type of calcite. Say you got calcium issues, your calcium too high, right? These calciums go to the bloodstream and they rip and tear on the artery wall. So now you're bleeding internally. You don't even know. Thank God you have cholesterol, because cholesterol acts like wall putty, and it's gonna literally clog up that hole on the wall to keep that hole from bleeding out. That's what cholesterol do. Cholesterol wasn't even 50 years ago. No, wasn't even 60 years ago. Cholesterol 300 and up was good. It was good. It meant you was healthy. Now all of a sudden, if you go over 140, I mean, you borderline heart attack and stroke. It's like, come on, man. We got to quit playing these games, and we got to stand up and fight for health sovereignty. Everybody who talking about freedom and freedom of this, freedom that, money freedom, this freedom, that freedom. What about your health freedom? Because without your health, you have no wealth. You can't even enjoy the fruits of your labor without your health. One of the richest men in the world was dying, and he said he would have gave all that money up just to go back and eat correctly, just to have 10 more years on this earth. He ain't even worried about the money no more. We all chasing the bag and chasing the dollar and want to do this and do that, but health is all out of whack. So you going to get the bag, you get the dollar, then you in a coffin. You can't even enjoy the fruits of your labor. You did all that hard work for nothing, and it's probably going to get passed down to some ungrateful knucklehead children that's going to mess up the money within 2 years anyway. Because you didn't even have time to teach them and raise them right, to rear them right, because you was on your deathbed. How can you truly experience the precious gift of being a human being if your actual being is at dis-ease? These are the questions and the things that we have to talk about. And we got to talk about this system. 10% of the entire world population is killing the 90%. 10% of the entire world population is killing the 90%. They controlling our food. They controlling our water. They're controlling our clothing. They're controlling our frequency. They're controlling the way we think, the way we breathe. They controlling our air. We got chemtrails. We got perfume colognes that's jamming our frequency. We got Wi-Fi, radio networks that is frying our cells from the inside out, speeding up the atoms faster than the speed of light. We sleeping on pillows that's killing us. I mean, like, when you look at what's going on, we have no education on how to maintain homeostasis. And anybody that try to teach you it authentically is automatically labeled a quack or get ridiculed, and then they hire people that look like you to do all the talking, to do all the discrediting. We at war, family, and the war we at is not with our bodies. The war we in is not with our bodies. We need to quit warring with our bodies. You need to quit fighting your body. Let your body do what it do, which is detox. You return, you repent. You go back to the physical laws that the Creator, Yahweh, set up for you. You see that? That's sunlight. That's hydration. That's deep diaphragmatic breathing. That's nutrient-dense food. That's H3O2 from your fruits, your vegetables. That's organic food that was created by God. No GMOs, nothing genetically modified. Now, of course, you got environmental pollutants that we can't stop. We can't tell them to get the planes out of the sky. We get that. So we have to be not counterproductive. We have to be what's the word for that, Nabi? Counterproductive, preventive maintenance. We have to be proactive. That's the word. We have to be proactive. We got to make sure that we're on a detox series. I'm a detox every 60 to 90 days because I know that there's certain things that I cannot control. But guess what I can control? What I put in my body. Guess what I can control? What I put on my body. Guess what I can control? I can go buy a filtration system or a kegging machine to drink my water. I can buy non-GMO heirloom seeds to grow food. I can do that on a kitchen table on a countertop next to a window if I have to. So the things that we can control, we need to control them. And the things that we can't control, we need to pray against them, spread information, and we need to do preventative maintenance and be proactive. Since I know I can't control that, let me go on a detoxification series. You see what I'm saying? I'm not dumbing down nothing. It is what it is. It is what it is. Nabi means belly button. Nabi is a Hebrew word. It's Nabi. And that actually means prophet or seer. That's what Nabi name is. Somebody said your name means belly button. That is funny, man. Hey, what are y'all talking about? Nabi is a Hebrew name. It's an Ibrit. It means it's Nabi. Nabi. It's prophet. It's foreseer. Oh, he's probably thinking of the name Nabal. No, it's Nabi. These people crazy. We needed that laugh though, man. Oh man, but look, I just got on here. I ain't been on here in a while. Make sure y'all go to the website www.yakiawaken.com. Grab y'all tickets. We in Chicago. We in Chicago September 6th, September 7th. We doing a pop-up clinic there. It's going to be completely full out. Go to www.yahawakened. Grab your tickets. They only $100. I usually do $150 for general admissions, and we usually do $300, $350 for VIP. But we went down on everything just because that is the Midwest. You know, I'm from the Midwest. I love Illinois. I was actually born in Illinois. I've been in St. Louis since I was 7 years old, but I actually was born in Illinois. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to, shouts out to the people that, you know, where I came from the canal from. I had to do that. And then I'm part of the Mississippian culture, the Choctaw Nation. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's us. This whole Midwest is very, very ancient. We got a bunch of pyramids out here. We got a bunch of literature. And we very spiritually aware. We just need to be turned back. That's why when you look at what's going on in St. Louis and Illinois, there's a bunch of killing, a bunch of murdering, a bunch of things like that, because we natural warriors that's seeking higher learning. It's just that we've been programmed wrong. So we also starting a program, too, where you'll be able to come to Atlanta. You'll be able to come to Atlanta and come see me. Like, literally. And we're going to be holding workshops. What else we going to be doing, IB? We're going to be doing conferences, all types of stuff. And we're going to be doing that probably twice a month. Classes, you know, exercise classes, yoga classes. We're going to be teaching you how to walk into your manhood, rites of passage, all of that. Got a beautiful building. The building been there. Building been operating. We just, you know, we finna change a few things to it, and then we're going to welcome y'all to that as well. So we got a lot of things going, y'all. But nah, they ain't going to silence me. I'm going to be on every platform that I can be on. Y'all just make sure y'all spread this information, share this information, put it out there, grab it. Just do not be doing no voiceovers and acting like it's yours. It's my information. It's my voice. My logo is clear on here. But look, post this stuff up everywhere. And also, you can find me back on YouTube again under the word Healing the Illusion. And I'm finna show y'all that real quick. Hold on. It's called Healing the Illusion. Let me type that in for y'all real quick. Healing the Illusion. Healing the Illusion channel. Let's see, where is that? Man, why does this say healing the hypothesis? Healing with hypothesis. You say that. I said healing the illusion channel. Here we go, y'all. All right, here it go right here. Oh, dang, it's already 5 subscribers. I just, y'all done went and found that quick. All right, so I'm sharing my screen again. Here go the channel right here, Healing the Illusion. Let me see if I can click on it. And I already got a bunch of videos uploaded on there. And look, they take this down, we just put another one up. We keep doing this. I don't even care no more. We just gonna keep doing it. But here you go, Healing the Illusion. Dang, it just jumped up to 19 subscribers that quick. I got all old videos on there. Every day I upload 2 videos of the old videos. Now, it's certain videos that I'm just not going to upload that's crazy that I know they're going to take down. Like, for instance, this video, I will not upload this video. I just said cancer, chemotherapy. I'm not going to upload this one, but you can go on my Facebook and catch this one. You know what I'm saying? But I'm uploading all the old ones. So you're going to see the fat Yaki. You're going to see the skinny Yaki. You're going to see the Yaki where he was detoxing looking sick and crazy. You're going to see all of them. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to every version of me. There it go again, y'all. Healing the Illusion is named after my book, Healing the Illusion We Call Disease. I got 9 videos up so far, and I'm going to try to upload 2 every single day. And it's not going to be in chronological order. So you're going to see fat me, then you're going to see a skinny me. You're going to see a bunch of different versions, y'all. All right, any questions? I can answer some questions real quick, and then we're going to get up out of here. I talked about the book update at the beginning of the video. So just go back to the beginning of this video, and I gave you clear instructions on the book update. The book is powerful. We got a great feedback on it. Great feedback. Pin the book link. All you have to do is this, y'all. Let me show you how to get to the book. Let me show you how to get to it. I'll put it in the description bar too. But look, all you do is you go to my website, www.yakiawaken.com, where we sell some of the best herbs in the world. I'm standing on it. Let me share this with y'all real quick, and then I'm going to answer some questions. So you go to www.yakiawaken.com, which is right here. And then once you go there, you're going to click on education. Then when you click on education, you're going to click on literature. Where is it at? Or just do this. Type in book. Just type in book. And when you type in book, 2 results. Look, boom. Go to the search bar, type in books. This is the book right here. 700 pages. People that bought it so far, they got 350 pages. This book is amazing. And y'all see the new one. We said books will now begin shipping out. But look, check this out. If you go here and you get it, we send you everything to it. It's dope. 350 pages. How do I get back to here? So that's what it is. Y'all got any questions for me before I get up out of here? I wanted to go a little deeper today, but I was led by the Spirit. High cortisol and sleep issues. Let's talk about this one first. Where is that? So this one, he want to know about, or she want to know, this is Pre-More Rent Talkless. I think that's how you say your name. High cholesterol and sleep issues. The best way to lower your cholesterol is getting away from stress. Your cholesterol is so high, the first thing I would do is I would get rid of all stimulating lights. Like for instance, you being on this transmission right now is why your cortisol is high. Because your body is tricked into believing that it's daylight and it's not. That'll automatically raise your cholesterol and your adrenals. You need to check your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is probably high. Your top number, which is systolic, that actually utilize and control your actual cholesterol. You need calming herbs. You need herbs like lavender. You need herbs like chamomile. You need herbs that's gonna calm you. Herbs like not blue vervain, but valerian root. Valerian root got natural melatonin in it. So you need herbs that's going to calm you instead of stimulating you. You also need to be in the bed in complete darkness by 8 o'clock to help you get back on a circadian rhythm. You need to utilize breath work. You need to go around blue water, living water, to have a sound to it. You see that? You need to be in nature. Take your shoes off. Put your feet on the grass to ground yourself out. And also hydrate. But usually when your cortisol is high, that means your body is in a constant state of fight or flight, and that's mental. And you got to get away from that. Know that what you can't control, you can actually prepare for. And what you can control, you can change. And once you start applying those methodologies and you start living that way, you go back into nature, you start living around nature, you go back into that greenery. Just that looking at green trees does something to your neurological functionings. It calms you. It brings on a calming. You see what I'm saying? Just by grounding, you get rid of all of those protons, those positive protons in earth. Mama give you eretz in Hebrew. It gives you trillions and trillions of electrons, which take away inflammation, which lowers stress cortisol, which lower all of the fight or flight chemistry in your body. The body cannot fight and grow at the same time. The cell's going to always choose survival first. So if the cell is in a state of fight or flight, you will not reproduce new cells correctly. You're going to always be you're going to be in that fight. In survival mode, cells get smaller because they want to go into survival mode. So they preserve energy. They don't utilize energy. So it's hard to live out your purpose in that state. So to get rid of high cortisol is to regulate your nervous system, get your adrenals back online, take you some common herbs like chamomile, lavender, valerian root. Make sure you grounding out, be in bed by 9 in complete darkness. Get you a blindfold if you need to. No stimulating lights like artificial lights, which is what I'm under now. If you want a light a candle to give off a natural red hue. And find you some soothing music and go to sleep. When you wake up, soon as you wake up, pray to your creator, whatever you call him or whatever you call it, pray to your creator, and then immediately go into deep diaphragmatic breath works to set the tone for your day. And if it's stressing you out, get it out your life. I don't care if it's a woman or anybody. If they stressing you out, get it out your life. And you will see that your cortisol will go down and you will be able to experience this reality in this body more. Who else we got? We're gonna be in Grenada when? We're gonna do the first of the year. If we can get the yeah, but we gonna be in we going, so I'm on tour right now, and then I'm going on tour with 19 Keys. So we're gonna be in London. We're going to Ghana, we're gonna be in Houston, we're gonna be in Texas, and then we gotta go to Israel. We're going to Israel in October. So like we busy. We really working, y'all. And then I gotta be. I've been getting on all these podcasts again lately because they've been suppressing my information so much that the all the people been hitting me up, man. Look, where you at? I'm like, man, they suppressing me. Well, come on a podcast. So I've been doing a bunch of podcasts. I'm gonna do Willie D again. We getting back on with DC Young Fly and them. We getting back on all the we getting back on all of them. All the major podcasts. We going back on them. So y'all gonna see my face again a lot more as well. What happened to Cali? We didn't cancel Cali, y'all, and we refunded y'all. What happened to Sacramento? We just pushed it back to December. We pushed it back to December. That's all we did. We still doing Cali. We just pushed it back to December because it made more sense for our tour because we're gonna be down there in LA anyway. We're gonna be in San Diego anyway, so we had to make it make sense. That's all. So we still coming to Sacramento. We just gonna be there in December, y'all. I promise y'all we coming. If I got breath in my body, we'll be there in December. We just had to change it up to make it match. It just wasn't making sense to the tour. That's all. Me and Keys might do New York together, and we doing St. Louis too. So he on tour, I'm on tour, so we decided to do some of the tour dates together. But yeah, but for right now, the quickest one that's coming, I'll be in Chicago, September the 6th and the 7th. Just go to events and get your tickets. You'll go to the website, you'll click on events and grab your tickets, or you can just simply go to yakievents.com. YakiEvents.com. But a lot of people are scared of anything outside of Yaki Awaken. So what we did was we just connected YakiEvents.com to Yaki Awaken so you can reach it that way to know that it is our official site. All right. We passed our time. I want to answer some more, but I'm going to go live again. What's today, Monday? I'll be live again Wednesday, y'all. You got my word. I got breath in my body. I'll be live again. We can talk about some more stuff. I even bring people in. What we got Wednesday? We ain't got no. Yeah, I'll be live Wednesday, and I'll bring people in. Y'all can call in, or I can find a way we can do the video thing, and I can pull you in as an interview, and we can talk that way. All right, peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Shalom, lacha, mishpati, ani yahev, atah. I love y'all. Nitra. See y'all soon. Peace.